Okay, good morning, everybody. Good afternoon if you're on the East Coast. It is Monday morning, September 18th, and this is our Monday Mastermind. We have these calls 4 mornings a week, Monday through Thursday, same time, same place. Usually we have a rotation of leaders, and it's a really powerful, amazing, juicy way to get started every day or kind of plug in the middle of your day if you're in a different time zone. But really, one of the things that's so special about what we have here is the fact that we get to do this in community. We get to do this as a group of people who all have a common vision, who all have a common mission, who all have a common dream. And there's variations in that, but really we're all here connected. And when we are able to plug in, that's when we start to receive. It's almost like, when you plug in your computer into the wall, right? So there's this way that when we're running on our own battery, when we're doing things out of our own personal energy, right? I'm using my energy to do this thing. Boom, 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 right? Like, I'm gonna do this with myself, right? That can be kind of the frequency that a lot of us are used to, especially if we are successful entrepreneurial people who have started businesses in the past, who have worked for ourselves in the past, or who currently do that. There can be this feeling of like, if it's gonna be done, I'm the one, right? I'm the one who has to do it. And this also goes for like, even if you haven't ever started a business, but if you have children, or if you even worked in managerial positions or whatever it is, there can be this tendency for us to take the lead all the time and to feel like, at least this, I can speak for myself, before I started, or when I first got started with Purium, I was in this vibration that was like, okay, I've done this, I've done that, tell me what to do, and I'm gonna do it. And it took me a while to be able to really wrap my brain around this beautiful, incredible concept of using a system, leveraging a system to create duplication, which leads to residual income. Okay, so if you've already experienced before Purium, if you have already created a residual income stream in your life, the outside of Purium, just let me know in the comments. Put a 2 in there or type residual. Like, if you've already experienced that, if you've already created some kind of model that or worked in a model that was actually paying you when you weren't working. Oh, awesome. So there's a couple of you. Great. So that's awesome. Most of us, myself included, never ever did anything like that. I was a massage therapist, a rolfer, an Ayurvedic practitioner. I was really utilizing my own battery every day, my own hands, my own life force energy, boom, 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 every single day. And if I didn't do it, it wasn't going to happen. Okay. And so this is where the majority of people are coming into this business model with that type of background, or with some kind of background like that, not necessarily a systems background, a plug in and continue to receive. So this is beautiful, because it means that we all, many of us, most of us, myself included, have a growth opportunity to start to really learn how to leverage, how to duplicate. And what this means is it's not just me going out there and doing everything. How many of you guys want another job? Just raise your hands. If you want another job, that you want to be a superfood salesperson, and you want to go out there every single day and hit the pavement and knock on doors and like convince people and tell them why. Okay, nobody, you guys, come on, there's got to be at least one of you that wants to have another job. I don't either. Okay, I'm going to put my hand down. So, okay, so if you don't want to have another job, Brianna's saying no way. Right? No, none of us, we're not here because we want another job. We're here because we want, well, type some of your reasons for being here. What is it that you do want? For me, I wanted location freedom and time freedom. that was when I came to Purium, I was extremely clear that I wanted to create a residual income stream in my life. And so here I was, this like, kind of independent thinking solopreneur type that came into this business model. I'm like, I want residual income. And then it's like, okay, well, here's how you do it. You have to plug into the system. You have to use the tools so that you don't end up with another job. So it's a really important distinction here, that the system that we have is what allows us to be able to step into this alternate reality called residual income. Okay? So I'd love to, okay, good, I'm seeing some awesome comments in here. So I'd love to hear, well, actually, let me just do this little picture here. I'm going to paint a little picture, and then I'm going to open it up, and I want to hear what you guys are using as your systems. So you guys all saw the meme that I posted that I made last night. I was like playing with that word swag app that Monica told me about, and I made this little meme, and it says, what we do in moderation, our team will do in excess. Okay, what we do in moderation, our team will do in excess. And this is a very important thing to really allow to sink in. This goes for across the board, how we respond to situations, if we're doing connect calls, how we're welcoming people into the groups, if we're using the groups, if I'm just going up to people and being like, hey, buy this pack, and they're like, cool, I would do anything that you tell me to because you're an influencer, I believe in you, or I trust you, and we just go to them and sign them up, and they never have a connect call, they never see any of the tools, they've never been in any of the groups, they've never met anybody else, they've never been on a call, they've never done any of that stuff. What do you think is going to happen when they have somebody who says, hey, what is that you're doing? I'm so interested. And all they've ever done is just talk to you. Anybody have any ideas what might happen in their process when they start to want to share? Anybody want to jump on and give me your idea around that? What might happen? Come on, exercise that mute button, you guys. Somebody jump on and tell me.
Hey, it's Marianne, Sarah. Hey.
Hey.
Hey, I have a little cold. I have had this experience early on with some new builders who had big resistance to connect calls. And I have a woman who, I wasn't confident enough in like insisting on doing connect calls. And so I have a builder, but she's gone rogue. And like, I'll look in my back office and she'll sign up. She's like, she signs people up, but no one gets calls, no one gets plugged in. And, that's one of the things that I have had, that I've experienced. So I've changed that. Now it's like, it's not even optional to not have calls.
Perfect. And so tell me, Marianne, did you do a connect call with her before she enrolled?
I did, actually.
Okay, okay, perfect. Beautiful. So so how have you been able to shift that in the rest of your team? Like,
I just really, yeah. Well, one was that I found myself doing a lot of extra support, like through texting and calls, and it was like not sustainable, when people are texting you about cucumbers and celery at 10 o'clock at night. So, like really plugging my team into the tools that we have, the groups and Radiant Health, and then really plugging people into the greater community so that they can, get their own resources and discover things on their own.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. And
yeah.
So, it's when people, okay, so we have these 5 income producing activities, right? We went over the first 3 the other day in one of these calls. If you missed that one, go ahead and rewatch it. But we have really 5 things that we do on a daily basis that can support us to generate income: prospecting, presenting, closing, plugging them in, and helping them build. Okay, so this is the really fascinating thing, is that how you prospect somebody is already going to start to affect how they're going to be able to build. Because whatever you did here, you're going to see them doing here. Okay, so if you don't use any of the tools, if you only put them in core 3, but they're interested in being a builder, or they have like this epiphany at some point and you've never put them into the Shift to Wealth group, but they are wanting to share the business, they're going to be like, they're not going to have that resource. That's one of the reasons that I put everyone into Shift to Wealth, even if I don't think that they're going to be interested in the moment in like getting a bunch of cards and, you know, doing the business. I always put them in there so that they know if they ever want to do that, that they've seen that resource, that they have that piece of the puzzle, and that they're going to be able to go ahead and use that tool no matter how long it took them to want to, you know, to want to use that tool, right? So how I'm prospecting, presenting, and closing is going to already affect how they are going to build without me even needing to train, right? So if I do it one way and then I tell them to do it another way, it's like, you know, there can be a disconnect, right? If I started out in the way that I want to see it come through, if I just like, okay, so back to my example, you know, a lot of us are health professionals. A lot of us have a lot of like power, influence in our communities. And so one thing that can happen is if I just go ahead and like sign somebody up and I don't use any of the tools and I never plug them into anything, and I'm just like, okay, you're at my clinic, this is what you need, let's do this. If they have someone who's interested, there's a high likelihood and probability that one, yeah, they might just sign them up, which could happen. Although I think most often what happens in those situations is that person is going to be like, well, I'm going to have to study the products. I'm going to have to get like, it's going to take me 6 or 8 or 10 months before I know as much as Noam knows about herbs, and I can like bust all this knowledge on my people that want to sign up. Like, I'm going to have to learn this thing. Like, I'm going to have to study, and it can actually slow down the process. So what we're doing is we are finding business partners we're finding customers and team members, and we're helping our team members find customers and team members. And the way that the residual income piece comes in, the way that the duplication piece comes in, is that we are able to do, if we do it right, we can do something one time and we can keep getting paid for it, even when we're like on vacation in Santorini, or, you know, like taking like our phone broke, or like we need to do something for our kids for the next week and we can't even do anything, right? Whereas with the dollar per hour model, if I didn't show up, if I had to take a break, if I got sick, if my kids needed me, if we were going to see, you know, my husband's family in South America, it was a complete dry up of my income stream. Whereas now, it's all about this, the chain goes often, I do, we do, you do. Okay, and this is like, for example, healthy happy hours are a great example of this. I do it, and you watch me, then we do it together, and then you do it on your own. Okay, so it's this process of, and it's a lot of oral history. This is this is something that I love about this, is that there's a lot of oral history that we do. There's a lot of spoken word that when you are plugging in, you're absorbing a lot of information. So connect calls are an awesome example of that. When I do a three-way call, when I do a connect call with somebody and someone brings me this person, for me, there's, you know, of course, yes, I want their prospect to sign up. I want them to get their products. I want them to get healthy. But what I'm most focused on is the experience that the person bringing the prospect is having. That they are learning this system. They're learning what to say. They're learning how to hold this. They're learning the posturing. They're learning the languaging. They're learning all of these things that don't come through necessarily in a document or in a training like this where I'm like, okay, everybody, here's how you do connect calls. First I say this, and then I say that, and then I say something else, right? It's a totally different experience. It's a very nuanced experience to be on the phone with me, listening as I am walking somebody through this process versus just me going, okay, A, B, C, D, E. First ask them this, then say that, then say this, because every person is so different. And so connect calls are another amazing, amazing tool for creating duplication and for creating, really for building leadership. Okay, so this is another element of duplication that we're looking for is it's not just duplicating, oh, awesome, Carol, that's so great. So Carol's saying that she has a full notebook of notes from connect calls, and it's, you know, connect calls are such a rich topic. We can kind of explore that a little bit on this call as well. But what we really want to be doing in this business is working our own selves out of a job, right? Like the dream vision is to have a team of leaders who don't need us anymore. Don't need us. I mean, we can still be friends. We can still do stuff together. It's not like, you know, like, okay, you don't need me anymore. I'm kicking you out of the nest. But that we're actually teaching people, we are bringing people up, we're raising people up in this way so that they are actually standing in their own power, that they are growing into this new space of being able to guide and lead people in these processes, hold an energetic frequency, you know, and this is something that really comes from time and exposure. And it is, I like to, I did a training one time, well, I've done it a few times, about relationships, about network marketing being kind of like a relationship, right? That Purium is sort of like, it's almost like falling in love. And so this is one of the reasons. So then we've got these 5 things, right? Prospecting, presenting, closing, plugging them in, and helping them build. And the plugging them in piece is a very, very vital piece of the duplication. So the plugging them in, you guys are all plugged in right now. You're all plugged into this experience that we're having together. So if masterminds are a huge part of your resilience and joy around Purium, just type something in the comments here so that I can see if this is something that really feeds you in your process and you can feel how solid this helps you be in your practice. Okay, yeah, for me too. Masterminds are huge. There's a lot of other ways to plug people in as well. And so the way that I did this training at Diamond Club a while ago kind of just like came through was that, you know, with this business, just as with life, there's always going to be roadblocks, people who say something that you take in the wrong way, feeling isolated, feeling frustrated, feeling, you know, angry, or like you just want to throw your phone in the toilet. I've had me and my kids both had that, you know, in the past. So there's always, like, let's demystify this right away. There's always going to be this experience. It's a life experience. There's a possibility and a way to make the waves more gentle based on how we're working with things internally. But we're always going to have ups and downs and good days and bad days and challenges and bright moments and green numbers and red numbers. So if your numbers are red right now, just know that they're going to be green again, you know. But what happens is that when we are plugging people in, like if let's say I go out, I mean, and this is not, don't actually picture me doing this because it's not actually going to happen. But let's say I was like a single person and I went on Tinder. Right? I've never done it, but I know there's people that have. So I go on Tinder and I'm like, I'm gonna, like, you know, find a date. I want to meet somebody, and I go and I find somebody and we go on one date. And then something happens and I like get derailed and I don't have time to meet with that person again. And that's that one time. And maybe we chat a little bit on Facebook or on whatever social media, and we like stay a little bit connected. But if that's all that we've experienced together, my commitment to that person is going to be pretty low. if they need like something from me, or like their car battery dies and they need a jump start, you know, I'm not going to be the first person that they call, and I'm not going to be the first person that shows up for them. Right? So when there's at the beginning of this relationship that we're forming with this community and with this process and with the system and with all these things, there can be kind of a low commitment, right? The more that we plug people in, this is through connect calls, this is through all of the elements of the system. And I'm gonna like, I'm gonna open it up in just a minute so you guys can throw out all of your favorite things and tools and tricks that you use to duplicate and how those are working for you. But for now, I just want to paint this picture that we have this beautiful spread of all these incredible tools. And when we use them, we are actually building the relationship with people, between them and us, between them and their dreams, between them, and we're building them up so that no matter what comes in the way, no matter what like feeling or experience or relationship like pops up and shakes their belief, that they're actually so anchored in that relationship and that commitment is so deep. It's like after I've been dating somebody for a while and like maybe we move in together and then their car battery dies, yeah, they're going to call me. Like, I'm going to go and help them. Like, that's my partner, right? And then if we get married and we have kids together, you know, what are we willing to work through to support that relationship, right? There's a whole different level. And it's not necessarily that we have to be like married to Purium. It's just, it's how much we can source in order for us to go through the growth period, in order for us to make it through our own challenges, limitations, blocks, and all the stuff that's coming up in our own process. The better plugged in, the better connected, the better, you know, the more that we're feeling supported and that we understand the system and we're using those tools and we're plugging in our people and they're like showing up, right? That's what supports us to have the staying power when these big moments, these big challenging moments come up in our business or our life, that in other circumstances we would just be like, you know, this is like, I just have to take a step back, or I just get, you know, I can't do this right now, or whatever it is. So plugging them in and using the system and using the tools it's very important on multiple different levels, on all these different range of dimensions, right? Because you're creating you're fostering this flame of relationship. You're also teaching them how to do it right from step one, right? So if I had to learn this, I really had to learn this in my own formative months and period way back in the day when I was like, I don't know, is this gonna work for me? And Tracy was like, come on the masterminds. And I was like, I don't want to go on your masterminds. I'm so busy. I have like kids and a life and a husband, and like these masterminds, like I just don't really think that they're that valuable for me. I've done a whole bunch of personal growth work. You know, I mean, I was in that resistance. And even, you know, she'd be like, get people on the connect calls with me. And I'd be like, you won't schedule with me. Like, how can I even do that? You know? So I had all my blocks and my resistance coming up, and she was still plugging me in and circling back around and supporting me. And eventually there's certain things that I can remember hearing her do on connect calls with people that still to this day inform every single way that I talk to somebody about this. That there was one call that I did before convention 2 years ago that unlocked something inside of me that made it possible for me to bring 18 people to my first convention, 50 people to my second convention, and 150 people to my third convention. And it was all, I can trace it right back to that one connect call. And the girl didn't even come to convention, but it was like I was able to see a whole nother layer and level of what's possible when I stand in my energy in a different way. And so this is really why we have this built-in mentorship piece that weaves through everything that we do. And like they say, you know, when you're down, reach up. when you're up, reach down. When you're feeling that vibrant flow, that energy is happening for you, go call every single person on your team and give them a little bit of that, right? Share that with them. If you're feeling like, you know, you're feeling isolated, or you're feeling like there's stuff going on and you're just like overwhelmed, even if the last thing that you want to do is pick up the phone and get on the phone with your upline, do it. Because that is going to be what will, you know, help you get through that moment. And I'm just going to say this really quick thing about connect calls here. If you have somebody who's resistant to connect calls, Marianne, you know, and many other of us have had this at times. If you have someone who's like not doing it and not, you know, not plugging their people in or whatever, for me, the remedy to that is to get them on a connect call with my upline. It's to always to model. It's always to bring that in so that they can actually feel it. Because if I'm just going, do this, do that, do this, do that, but I'm not doing it, then it's a lot harder for them to absorb that and take that and like get on with that, get on board with that. But if I'm actually like, hey, you know you've been going through some stuff. I'd really love to introduce you or like connect you with David Skoltedi. You know, let's jump on a call with him. I'd love to hear his reflections on this. Then you're doing two things at one time. You're helping them with their process, and you're also showing them how well that tool works. So you're modeling that system to them, and it's really, really powerful to do that. So with that being said, you guys, it's 8:30, so I want to go ahead and open it up to hear some of the tools that you guys are using, some of the systems that you're using. What are your go-to things that you're doing? If you're brand new and you have questions, or if you're not brand new and have questions, bring those up as well. But I'd love to kind of just like use all of our collective experience and wisdom and knowledge to share stories and to share perspectives around, you know, how are you creating duplication in your team? When have you seen it break down? When have you seen it like build up and bust through different levels and layers? And, you know, how is this happening for you? So anyone who would like to share your reflection on duplication, floor is open.
I'll say something. Hi, Sarah.
Hey,
Deborah. So for duplication, one thing is I really have gone out of my way to train my team with game plan. And I feel game plan is a nice format for that. I like using my phone app to send in the past I would send the Core 3 video and whatever, the Farm to Family. Now I'm sending the new animated business video because of your suggestion, and I need to review the 10-day transformation to see what I think about it. I definitely, because of your suggestion, I am plugging everyone into Shift to Wealth and tagging them in several things like your Crown Talk and Farm to Family and a few other posts that I really like. And I am plugging people into Core 3 Nutrition. And then with my team, I always copy whatever comes from Frontline from Rachel, and I send those messages to my team. And I'm talking more to them about they've got to be sending it to or please inspire, I'm trying to inspire them to send all messages to their team. And I'm seeing a breakdown with some of my people where, I don't know, they were on, well, two of my downline definitely gets on the mastermind calls, but I'd like to get more of them on the mastermind calls. I think my particular group really likes it when it's super duper professional and it's you, Rachel, and Tracy speaking. Just they want to come to this and feel like it's really a business meeting. Anyway, thank you.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, thanks, Deborah. Yeah, those were some really clear steps. I love that you're using the phone app. That's a really great one. And so the more tools that we send somebody in that space between prospecting and like in that whole presenting phase, the more that we're actually sending them tools, it's thinking about, okay, two things. One, what information do they need right now? And two, what tools do I want them to be able to use to call upon in their process in the future? And so, you know, one thing just about getting people on masterminds that I'll share with you guys. Can you guys hear me okay? Okay. So one thing the way that I was trained, which we've kind of like shifted out of duplicating, but Tracy used to actually send a text message, a personal text message, not a group text, an individual personal text message to every single person that she wanted to see on the mastermind call that morning. So we've kind of moved into this space of posting and tagging, and I have to say that tagging people in a post is really like one of the least secure ways of like knowing that they're actually going to show up, right? So this is moving into this space, this whole discussion of being a promoter versus a publicizer. And this is a huge piece of duplication, okay? And when we just publicize things, if I just say, like, I tag like 1 million people on this thing, like I personally reached out to a few of my direct people to make sure that they were going to be on this call today. I did a post, I tagged a bunch of people, and I did a Facebook thread, but the people that I really want to make sure that are on here, who are direct to me, who are like new people or, you know, people that I want to make sure are here, I personally reach out to them, and sometimes I even call them the night before and have a conversation and be like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna be leading this tomorrow, and I'd really love it if you can come, and if you have anything to share, like, so it's actually way more than just like the shotgun approach. Like if you just like blast it and tag 50 people on the post, some of them might show up, but if you really want to know that people are going to come, it's making that personal connection with them. So that is, again, it's kind of like bringing in that relationship piece. And the same goes for any event, especially these live events that we have coming up, the regional events. So New York, Florida, Southern California, and Seattle on the 23rd. If you are not already planning to go to one of those events, please, please, please look very, very carefully at those and see which one you can make it to. And we're going to have Oahu on the 30th and Denver on the 7th. And again, I was touching on this at the beginning of the call, that it's not just about getting yourself there. It's about how many people you can bring. And I know Ashley was just texting me. She wanted to say something about that. So Ashley, you want to jump on there, and then Heather, you're next.
Yeah, for sure. Good morning, everyone. Yay. Thank you. Sorry, I'm just getting my door closed so the little ones don't run in after me. I absolutely love this conversation, and I am completely fascinated by the concept of duplication. I just think it's one of the most powerful, I don't even know what it is. It's one of the most powerful theories, or it's like a law of nature, it seems, about how duplication works. And when it comes to live events, you know, I've had such an incredible, powerful experience because of the way that Sarah and other people have I like to think of duplication almost as the upline sort of creating this mold, like a mold that other people can kind of just come and like get themselves into to set themselves up for success. So when I first joined Purium, I just got my package. My family and I didn't even have a car, and, you know, we were really struggling financially. And Sarah told me, well, hey, you know, how hard is it for you to get to Huntington Beach? She's like 2 hours away from us. Like, well, we don't even have a car, but yeah, we could probably do it. And she said, well, you need to get there and you need to bring people with you. I was like, bring people with me? I've never even tried the product. Like, what are you talking about? But I remember that she was just really adamant about that, and that I had seen Sarah have a lot of success with this. I was like, okay, this lady's telling me to do this. You know, I just met Sarah. I was like, I'm going to do it. So, you know, no one ended up being able to come with me, but I invited people, which was a big thing. And I got myself and my husband and my 2 kids to this event in Huntington Beach. And we were only even to stay, this was one of the regional events, like all these events that are coming up. And we were only able to even stay for like half of the day. But what we received at that event, it was like, I got this download that, wow, Sarah leveraged her time so much. Like, because just by her sending me to that event, she just, so much work and energy. Basically what happens when we're at an event, we just are able to get this download and this transmission about what the company is about, what this mission is about, and really feel into that. And it's like stepping into that new place of that relationship. Like, okay, now we're dating super serious, or now we're married. You know, I fell in love with Purium at that event. And it inspired me and gave me the motivation and inspiration to invite everyone that I possibly could to these events. So, you know, I had at convention last year, like 2 people with me. And at this last convention, I remember just being so razor, you know, sharp that we needed to have an army of people. And we had about 30 people from our team there. And these events that are coming up, the way that I would hold it, you guys, is you're going to this event. Sometimes I would even just say, hey, I'm going to Seattle. Who do I know in the area? And I'm just letting everyone know, I'm going to be at this place. I'm going to be at this event. You should come and check it out. It's going to be so amazing. And I invite everyone I know to these events, because if you can get people to a live event, I mean, it's just by far one of the most powerful things that you can do for your business. So it is about getting yourself there, yes, but I would say even more importantly, it's about bringing other people with you so that then they can bring other people with them, and so on and so forth. The more you can get into that leveraging of your time and energy. So live events are incredible. You guys all have to go to them and bring, you know, I remember Sarah telling me, like, bring 10 people with you. I'm like, okay, it's in 2 weeks. He's like, you can do it. So just have that and have fun with it and go for it. And you'll see growth in your business if you're doing that and putting it out there and really being brave about it. So yeah, exciting. All right. Love you guys.
Thanks, Ashley. So the there are Eventbrite for all of those events. The way that you can find them is if you go onto mypurium.com before you sign in, if you're on your phone, click the menu button, or if you're on the computer, it's like in the top right hand corner, and it will say convention recap or go big recap or something. They're all in there. All the Eventbrite links are on that page in the website. They're also in Bliss Ohana, so if anyone wants to go in there right now and find that post that I made that has all the Eventbrite links and just bump that up to the top, that'd be awesome. So those are all there, and it's $25 for a full day training, you guys. It's like the company spends money on these events for us. Like, they're not even making back their money. Check this out. It's actually $25 for the ticket, and when you get a ticket, you get a free spray, which is worth $20. So they're going to be giving out to every single person who goes to one of these events a free spray. Okay? So that means that you're basically paying $5 to get a full day training from 9 to 5, and to get the experience and get to try other stuff and to just be in that frequency and in that community space. And you know, it's really beautiful. These are a gift to us, and they take a lot of work. Like, I'll just tell you, on the other side, it's a lot of work to put them on. And so if you guys can, you know, I did one of these events out here in Kauai in February, right before I went to Uruguay, and I organized basically like a 4-day event out here, and 70 people came out, and it was like that. After that event, that was February. In March, my points went up 75,000, and I was out of the country, and I didn't have phone reception. So I hit 2-star crown, but it was the momentum. It was that vibration, that like excitement, that place where everyone was like stepping up and really like having a stretch and like buy plane tickets and like come to Kauai and have this whole experience as like retreat. And it was like this huge breakthrough moment for my entire team, to the point that I was able to leave the country for 6 weeks, not be able to use my phone at all. I had internet reception for like a few minutes a day, and everybody exploded their business on the other side of that event. So this is part of our culture. This is part of our duplication, is really bringing people together. This is part of the culture of the company. Every company has its own culture. There's some that are like, we just do it on social media. We don't like people. We don't want to talk to people. We just want to make the money. da, 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 right? Like that's some cultures and some people love that. Like that works for them. For me, that doesn't work for me. This is what works for me. I do this because of the relationships. I do this because of the friendships that I have with all of you. I do this because I have your whys in my heart, because I want to see every single one of you succeeding and achieving the dreams that you have. And so when we share those dreams with each other too, we're increasing that power, that collective consciousness that we have to be able to have that support and just have that power, that inner grit to be able to get there. So yes, so thank you, Ashley. Events are amazing. Anybody else want to jump on and share about some of the tools that you're using to create duplication, or how that process is going for you?
I would love to. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yay. Aloha, everyone. This is Danielle. And I would just like to say I'm relatively new, and I'm totally loving the idea of this being a relationship because, I just did meet someone, and, being in person with that person is like so important, to learn about them and to see how they behave and et cetera, et cetera. So I'm super excited about the upcoming events, because I kind of see Purium as like, I've been like online dating with Purium, and now like the event is going to be like my first date. And then from there, I see great things ahead. I'm praying and meditating on the good things coming through this company. And I would just like to say, as a newbie, some of the tools that I'm interested in working with, just starting off, are definitely the ones that were covered by Deborah earlier, with connecting people into the groups on Facebook and things. And then, I'm really into the high touch part of this. I love being in person with people and healing and just being present with people, eye contact, that whole thing. So pouring drinks and sharing the product has been really important to me, showing people that you can take this in your body and feel amazing. And I shared it with two of my favorite musicians this weekend, and just feeling their energy lift up even before it was handed to them, just them being yes, that's what I want, was just such a good confirmation that this is helping people, this is important and healthy. And so that's step one for me. And then also being in that vibration of abundance, knowing that I have enough to share. And as much, kind of with the events, as important as it is for me to take it, or for me to get to an event, it's equally as important or more important, to build a team and get other people on board going to events and taking the products as well. And so getting their contact information and then making sure that I'm dropping in with them regularly and being authentically invested in the other person and the relationship with that person. Because as it's been said, this is a very relationship-based company, and I think it's such a beautiful thread to weave for the world, is that through nutrition, through this beautiful product that comes from the earth, we can deepen our relationship with ourselves, with each other, and with Mama Earth, and give back and plant our seeds and grow our dreams. And it's so beautiful, and I'm so blessed to be here, and I'm so inspired by Sarah and Ashley. Your energy is so exciting. So aloha, big love.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Danielle. And I love how, you shared a couple things that are so beautiful there. Being in that abundance frequency that I have enough to share. Noam was just telling me this the other day. He's like, I'm giving everybody just what they need in order to have an experience to feel this. And so he's been sharing a lot of products with people, samples and stuff. And, and also that, that how we're holding our relationships with people is also going to duplicate. And I hear a lot of feedback about our community and about the masterminds and how we do things, that a lot of people just feel incredibly uplifted, and they feel their own belief in themselves raising up because of how we hold this field, how we hold this container of all of us together. And so edification is something that, that word means basically letting people know, seeing the good stuff in people and verbalizing it. Edification is a huge piece of the duplication that we use. We speak highly of people, to them, about them, and within ourselves about them. And so this is another really beautiful piece of the duplication that we use in this community. I'm going to open it up for one more share, and then I want to just go over really quickly because I'm going to have to jump off 5 minutes early to take my daughter to school. But I want to, after next share, I want to just give you guys a really quick breakdown on the launch packs and how I've been sharing them. And we have actually a couple brand new member, launch pack member up here, Renita, who my longtime girlfriend, she's waving in the corner there. Hey, Renita. My longtime girlfriend, Devi, just enrolled her last night with the launch pack. And so I want to kind of walk you guys through a little bit of how I share about those and what happens in that process for me. So does anybody else want to share anything? Heather, I know you had your hand up. Did you want to share anything about duplication? No? Okay, we lost the window. Baby's crying or something? Okay, perfect. Anybody else want to share final last words about duplication and how that's happening for you?
I'll just say one thing that's important to keep in mind about duplication is that when you really form a relationship with someone, and you show other people how to form that relationship with them, I think it really actually helps prevent people from having an experience with the products where it's an unfavorable experience, like an Amazon type of experience. And also it prevents you from having, where the company will take the money back out of your account because that person took the 60-day and took their products back to the company. So I love all the masterminds. They're so juicy. They give me so much, and finding ways to, I'm so excited about the website coming out and the fact that they'll get customer support through emails. And I'm not going to just rely on the emails from customer support to keep up with people. I'm going to really look at how to, I'm really open for coaching on how to keep that relationship with them on a routine basis, like how to set a system up to keep a routine contact with people as they're going through things. I'm doing that now, but I don't really have a system. So it's sort of like when they pop in on my mind or when I write them down on my list. So I'd love to know how to keep up with them while, if they're not 100%, connected. Like they say to me, well, I don't like Facebook groups, don't do those. So like I text this one person who's doing the transformation right now who said that. And so it's like, I don't want to step on her toes and keep her, tracked into something she doesn't want to be tracked into. But I want to make sure that she knows what to do. And I help to correct a misperception she had about the flex foods, and she felt a whole lot better about day 2. So.
Yeah, awesome. And so beautiful, Gayla. That's really powerful. So there's a couple of things. One is that oops, can you guys see me? Okay. Can you guys hear me okay? I got frozen there for a second. Okay, perfect. So so one of the ways that we do, and especially with this new system as it's coming out with the customer system that we have coming, it's going to be even more important that we are staying tight and close with our customers so that when they're having a good experience, or when they're having a challenging experience, we can support them through that. But when they're having a really great experience, we know that their auntie and their like colleague is going, what is that stuff? Like, what are you doing? This is amazing. And we're in communication with them so that we can, at that point, support them, to either share our gift code with those people or share their gift or like get some cards of their own. So there's a little piece there that's going to be, the better of an experience somebody has, the more likely they're going to want to be to share it, even if they thought they never wanted to share it, which happened the other day with Christina. She brought this woman to me on a Connect call who was like, she didn't want to share anything at all ever. And then all of a sudden she's on the phone with me going, I think that I could replace my income with this. Like, this is amazing, So really having that high touch experience with people as they're transforming and as they're using the products is really powerful. So if they're not wanting to be in the Facebook group, there are transformation support calls that happen 5 days a week on the corporate line at the half hour before the corporate calls, before that 3 o'clock time slot. So 2:30 every day, those are happening. And there's also, you can send them videos. There's a lot of things that you can plug them into and especially to stay connected with them. But the nice thing about the Facebook groups is that, again, it's leveraging our time. It's using a system. so that we don't have to work as hard and they can still get everything they need. So that is a great, awesome thing to bring in. Gayla, thank you so much. The product experience is the foundation of everything that we're doing here. So if people aren't having a great, awesome product experience, then we want to know why and how we can support them, because usually there's some refinement that can happen that will move it into the next slide. So thank you, Gayla. And I'm going to just give you guys a really brief, fast about our promoter path right now. And for you all to know, at 3 o'clock this afternoon, Hawaii time, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I will be leading the vision call. And I'm going to be interviewing some of our influencers in our team to demystify the influencer. And my vision for that call is that after that call, you're all going to come off that call and be like, I am so not intimidated by influencers anymore. Like, they all need this. And I can't wait to go talk to my naturopath, my chiropractor, my massage therapist, my yoga teacher, and all these people who have these huge networks, because I can see now really clearly how this can really be a benefit for them, and I can take them off my chicken list. And I can actually have the confidence to want to approach them and talk to them. So that's going to happen this evening. In the meantime, I wanted to clarify and make sure that you guys all understand that our promoter path, our brand partner path, is 100% live. So the coded bonuses, all that stuff, it's already in effect. Last week, my weekly check, tripled, because even though my points are in the red and there's been kind of just a little pause as everyone's kind of getting acclimated to the pause that's happening in the company, that there is this thing that's been happening, which is beautiful. It's fine. It's that pulling back of the boat. So even though there's been a decrease in the activity overall in my team, my weekly check went way up because of the coded bonuses, because of what I've been receiving on all the packs that are going through in my team, that I'm receiving something on those because, of the code. So that being said, there is no need or desire to wait on enrolling people right now. Okay, especially if they, this call is recorded. It's going to be posted in the Bliss Ohana team for those of you guys who are wondering. The promoter path, the brand partner path is live and has been live since they in this whole intermediate step. Meaning, if you guys have anybody who's coming to you, and I've actually had people who are already in my downline, including Debbie, who've already been doing Purium for a while, start reaching out to me, being like, I'm getting all these emails, I've been watching what's going on, I'm really interested what's happening, and so they're reactivating even. Okay, so if you have people who are interested in the business and are letting you know that, or who are interested in the products and you put them into Shift to Wealth, or you send them some tools and they're like, oh, actually, I'm kind of intrigued in that, and you want to get them onto a Connect call for sure. And I'm just going to give you guys a little bit of a breakdown of how I reference the value of the launch pack. I actually haven't personally had anybody go for the builder pack yet, because it is so much more of a value to get the launch pack. They're only $200 difference. The launch pack, you're getting the unlimited gift cards, you're getting the Dreams technology. And what I do is, before I really start to tell about, often what I'll do before I really break down the prices of those packs and what they come with, is I'll ask a little bit about how much have you invested in making money before? No, but did you go to school? Did you ever start a business? Have you ever gone to massage school? Have you ever done any training? Do you have overhead in your business? Starting to kind of get that, frame it around, this is a business investment. If you're going to go ahead and you're looking at this as a business, this is a business investment. And there is absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, no other business investment that you can make in your life for under $500 that can get you into the kind of income that I'm making right now, with no training, no overhead, no office. I don't even have to pay for a website, that compared to what people have invested in making money in their past, this is a minuscule drop in the bucket opportunity for them. And the difference between spending $250 and spending $450 right now, that's going to change in a couple of days. It's going to be $300 and $500. But the difference between spending that extra $200, what that unlocks for you is that every single person, because this business is built on helping people succeed, the whole way that you're going to be successful is that you're helping people succeed. Meaning your vision, your desire coming into this is that you're going to want to be helping people hit director and executive. When you hit director, you're going to get $200. When you hit executive, you're going to get $500. When every single person who you've shared with personally hits director, you're going to get $200. And when they hit executive, you're going to get $500. But you only qualify to receive those bonuses if you come in with a launch pack. If you get the builder pack, you get your own $200 for hitting director, and you get your own $500 for hitting executive, but you don't get those matching bonuses until you have done $2,000. You can still earn it. You can still earn it, right? It's not like you can never get those bonuses, but in order to qualify for those bonuses, you either have to come in with a launch pack, or you have to get into the 2K club, which means you have $2,000 of personal customer volume in a month. Okay, and that might take a minute. It could take you longer to do that than to break a director. And so for that $200 difference, you're ensuring that you're going to be able to get all those bonuses on every single person that you are pouring your love into, that you're supporting to succeed. You're going to get those rewards right away. And again, because it's a business investment, we're not having a product conversation right now. They're not going, ooh, like really expensive to get some superfoods. You know, this is so incredibly inexpensive to start a business that already is working, that already has everything that you need. The products are formulated. You're going to hear from Noam this afternoon about, he actually owns a business. It's very similar to Purium. And he's like, can't wait to sell it. And he's like, oh, like it's such a, it's a huge job that we don't have to do. We don't have to touch that stuff. We don't have to write paychecks ever. We never have to write a paycheck. How awesome is that? Right? Everyone else is making money and we don't have to be the ones paying them. Right? We don't have to talk to the tech guy about the website and like melt our brain and be like, okay, like people, we don't have to call the farm and have them tell us that like, oh, there was a problem with the crop. You're going to have to find someone else to give you wheatgrass this month. Like we don't even need to go there. All these other things that makes business like really, really challenging and complicated and difficult. And like we just get to bypass all that. And for $500, we just get all the good stuff. We get all this amazing staff, team, customer service, everything's all set up. They're reinvesting money for us, upgrading the website, upgrading everything, labels, like it's all. And all that person needs to do is just put down $500, which for me, I mean, just in my massage practice alone, I spent 30 grand in training, right? And I'm making more a month than I made annually as a massage therapist. So this is the kind of posturing that happens, like when we can stand in this posture, and you don't have to be all like all crazy like me in their face when you're talking to them, but it's just having that, it's having that conviction. It's really knowing that $500, if they're really, it's a totally different thing from before when it was like, get the platinum pack and you'll have the gift cards whether you want them or not. Like it's really the better deal and like doing this whole thing. And it's like, no, now we're talking about people who are like, I'm interested in the business. I'm interested in making money. And you're going to look at them and you're going to say, if you want to make money, you need the launch pack. You're going to need those unlimited gift cards. And you're going to want to have those bonuses come through, right? So it's just a frequency, it's just standing in that. It's not convincing them. It's just knowing the launch pack. It's knowing the launch pack is the only way. And if they really, really, they buy a brand new Tesla, it's like buying Tesla for $500. It's like becoming a partner with Tesla and you just have to only invest $500 and all of a sudden your name is like in the ownership records, right? Yes, please. Can I own part of Tesla for $500 and make like really good money on that? Right? No, I mean, it's so unusual to be able to do this kind of maneuver or working, like step into this stream in life, that sometimes I feel like people just, it kind of like will like roll over our heads and we just don't get it. You know, it's like, oh, $500 is so much money. Like, I don't think they're going to be able to pay that. You know, it's like, no, this is crazy amazing. Okay, I gotta go, you guys. I gotta take my daughter to school. Thanks, Noam. I got my alarm clock there. All right, everybody. Come to the call this afternoon. We're gonna explore more around this. I love you guys. Here's my daughter. Love you guys. Aloha. I'll post a recording.